What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Exploring Attractions. My name is Scott, and you're watching your stop for all things theme park and attraction related. And if you're new here, please subscribe with those bell notifications on down below, and check out our social media pages, Instagram and X, as we're posting tons of short form and different photos, all that good content on those social media platforms. So click the link down below in the description. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but there's been a lot of news that has come out and some newfound footage of one of the attractions at Epic Universe. Now, this isn't the attraction currently at Epic Universe, but it is one of the attractions that will be built at Epic Universe that has now been testing at Universal Studios Japan. And that's right, we're talking about the Donkey Kong Mine Coaster. Footage was put out by an ex-user of this attraction testing, and might I say, it looks amazing. This is going to be probably one of the most, if not the most popular attraction in Orlando once it opens up in 2025. And in Japan, they already have it practically done. The fact that they're testing it, and I mean the illusion of it jumping tracks, looks amazing. It's gonna be like it's gonna be one of the most popular attractions for sure, and it's gonna be one of those attractions that you have to look at over and over and over again and be like, damn, how is that illusion working? But that's not the only footage that we have. We also have some footage courtesy of BioReconstruct, who all of his photos will be shared in this video as well, of something at Epic Universe testing. He got an awesome night shot at some of the flat attractions testing in How to Train Your Dragon. This was one of the first attractions where we actually got the ride vehicles and the theming at Epic Universe, and you can see it testing during the nighttime and the How to Train Your Dragon land, set to open up with Epic Universe in 2025. Very exciting stuff. I mean, the fact that we already have attractions testing in 2023 at this new theme park makes me super excited, and it means a lot of good is coming with this theme park and the progress of it in general for 2024. But let's go ahead and take a deeper dive look into the rest of Epic Universe as far as their construction progress goes, and since we already talked about it, let's start off with How to Train Your Dragon. So as you can see, theming and color has been added to the entry portal of the How to Train Your Dragon area, and of course they're still working on getting that wood flooring all built up. There's the bridge right there, there's the coaster track that dives right underneath the bridge on the left hand side. The whole area looks amazing. You can see the top part of the entry portal has tons of theming to it. Looks like a silhouette of a dragon, or like Toothless. Got the blue and red coloring on there. This entry portal is going to look absolutely beautiful and reveal those beautiful statues of Berk right behind it. If we move further on into the land, you can see some work going on the Great Hall restaurant. The insane rock work. This is just the very beginning, but you can definitely tell how much shape is going into this Great Hall restaurant. I mean, that giant tower, if you will, on top of the entire building looks exciting and makes me even more anticipated for the theming that would be taking place on the inside of this restaurant. It's going to be a big area. I mean, let alone that big kind of circle area, and then that whole square shape of the building. I don't know if that's going to be a backup house or if that's going to be part of the dining hall, but this building is fairly large. The Great Hall restaurant, I'm sure, will have plenty of seating for guests to enjoy different How to Train Your Dragon themed food. Before we bounce out of that land, though, there is tons of progress on the water attraction, the water-based attraction in this land as well. So I'm assuming that this attraction is going to be similar to ones that we see across the country. It's kind of like a splash battle, if you will. You get in these cars which have seats on other side, and you're able to spray water at each other. I believe that's what this is going to be. I could be wrong though, but that's what it looks like. It's obviously going to be some form of water ride, but you can see theming elements going up there already with those trees, and looks like there's flames on them because maybe it's like a Viking attack, if you will. Not too sure the whole storyline, but also the station is getting covered up with wood planks, kind of giving that rustic theme for this water-based attraction. Let's move on over to the dual racing roller coaster. On that little bank turn area, they're still working on the thematic elements for that, and you can see, you can peek just a little bit into the station. The station looks huge. I mean, the station kind of reminds me of as far as like scale goes, the scale of X2 station at Six Flags Magic Mountain. That's kind of how big it looks to me just from the aerial view. Obviously it's hard to tell just how big things are unless we see people standing next to them, but that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from the photo. And then yeah, tons of elements have been added to the actual entrance of this dual racing roller coaster. There looks to be like an awesome archway which will fit perfectly with the space theme. This archway of course will lead you into the main queue section, and you can see the rest of the queue section starting to get worked on right underneath that archway. I'm assuming right at the front of the archway we'll have the separation between Universal Express, single ride or general admission, or just any other options that they have for the queues. It'll be interesting to see if Epic Universe use any form of virtual queues. I assume they probably will for their more popular attractions like the Donkey Kong coaster, but I don't think they will for the entire theme park. But yeah, I mean, there's a nice like courtyard starting to take shape in there too. You get a good picture right there. You can stand in the courtyard and watch the coaster go by, get a good picture of the station. Kind of similar to like what Velocicoaster is. They have that general kind of walking and sitting area right in front of one of the, actually right after the top hill, that drop right there. Get a good view of that. Same thing with the dual racing roller coaster here. You'll have a great view of everything going by. And speaking of the hub, the hotel is moving along quite fast. You can see more shapes starting to take shape on the left and right hand side of the hotel, starting to kind of curve up to make it more of like a tower type of shape for this hotel. There looks to be some form of ring leading to be like the main tower in the middle of this all. But yeah, this hotel already with the shape and the early stages of theming looks absolutely incredible. And yes, it probably will cost you a fortune, but you will have exclusive access to the theme park, I'm assuming, and exclusive access if your rooms to look into the theme park as well. Here's like a backside view of it. You can kind of get like a better idea of all the shapes and that big ring at the top for this hotel. The Wizarding World entry portal has started to receive more theming as well. At the very top, you can see one of the main pieces of Wizarding World theming and kind of confirms what this area will be. There's a hand right there holding what looks to be a wand, so that further confirms the fact that this will be the Wizarding World area. But yeah, it's nice that they're starting to work around this entry portal. It kind of gives a good idea of what the final product will look like, or the final piece, if you will. Same thing as all those other entry portals, has that kind of archway ring just with different colors on it. They're choosing like a green and gold for this, where How to Train Your Dragon is like a bluish type. And then after you walk through the archway, you go into another archway, which will immerse you in the whole kind of surrounding city buildings area. Obviously, if you walk further in, you'll get to the main attraction, stuff like that. But you can definitely tell that they have added more theming and coloring and detail to the top of those surrounding city buildings as well. It'll be interesting to see once they reveal that final piece, or at least just pull down the scrim and scaffolding of the entry portal. Moving on over to Universal Monsters, it looks like there's a new little courtyard that has popped up in front or to the left of the main attraction building. This looks to be like there's going to be a seating area potentially around a fountain, or those are early stages of a fountain. That'd be really cool to have that right outside there. But yeah, this looks just to be like an exit plaza. Maybe these are lockers for the attraction, or like a small little gift shop. And then also with the rumored Wolfman coaster, they're still working on getting the ceiling and roofing done for one of the show scenes in that coaster, and obviously the station is still under construction as well. But all the trees being added around there and seeing it come to life with all the landscaping and everything, the queue is going to be so much fun just to look at all the elements that they have in there. It's really going to make you feel like you're going on to a Wolfman coaster, if that's the thing that they're going for, with the kind of like foresty aspect there. That's why all the trees are popping up and everything. And I assume there will be audio cues and everything while you're standing in that queue, or I should say audio elements. And just as a little throwback to our last update, here's a look at the almost finished entry portal to the Universal Monsters Land and how beautiful all that rock work looks surrounding it. But last but not least, let's talk about Super Nintendo World. The Donkey Kong Mine Coaster, here's the update on that. Compared to Japan, where Japan's already testing, now you can kind of get a good idea of how it's supposed to look like in Epic Universe once it's finished, so still work going on with that. In the other side of Super Nintendo World, tons of Yoshi Omnimover vehicles are on the track, and actually 2 of them are uncovered. Well, they're uncovered with the black tarp. They're still wrapped in saran wrap, but you can, if you zoom in very, very closely, you can see the shape of Yoshi and see the red coloring as well. So it's exciting to see that all the cars, if you will, are on that track. The indoor element is almost complete, and they're all leading into the main little station area as well. And at the front portion of Super Nintendo World, they're starting to paint the whole surrounding walls green. And they're painting the escalator, it looks like, green as well. That will lead up to Princess Peach's castle. There's a green warp pipe. The green warp pipe hasn't received any detail quite yet, but I'm assuming we'll start to see that painted green as well. So yeah, more coloring and more theming going into Super Nintendo World, as well as all the other lands. But that pretty much wraps it up for today's Epic Universe update. There's lots going on, tons and tons of theming. Like, I think I called it like a year ago, like, one day we're just going to be talking about all the theming and not just being like, oh, here's little hints of theming. No, we're talking about there's so much theming all over these lands. So much theming that we didn't even cover as far as like the hub goes, because I don't want to drag on like a long video. But yeah, it's exciting nonetheless, because some of these elements are a lot earlier than expected, and they're definitely ahead of progress for Epic Universe opening in 2025. But that's going to wrap it up for today's video. If you're new here, please subscribe with those bell notifications on, and like I said, check out our social media. It really helps us out a whole lot. Positivity is key, and most importantly, remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.